What's going on? Welcome back to Trending Stocks. Today we need to talk to you about SoFi. I want to go over some expectations for this upcoming week, what might cause some volatility in the stock price, and go over everything else you need to know. But first, make sure to hit that thumbs up. And with that, let's get right to it. So starting off with this upcoming week, I'm already going to say it is going to be kind of crazy and all over the place. So there's not a lot of data points, but of the data points that are coming out, they have the kind of opportunity, if that makes sense, to kind of swing the market in massive different directions. So the beginning part of the week is going to be more technical driven. So Monday and Tuesday, not a lot of data points and whatever else, a couple of Fed speakers, but in my opinion, based on the topics at hand, it won't really influence the broader market. So in reality, it is going to piggyback off of SoFi's technicals. And in that case, it is relatively optimistic. So I'm going to go over the technicals near the tail end of the video. Wednesday, you do have right over here the FOMC meeting minutes. And I know that's usually caused a lot of volatility, but this time around, I think going into it, it might be a little bit bearish, because for those of you that do remember back then, like at this time, because this meeting already did occur, right? Powell was somewhat negative, and he was very negative relatively about a 50 basis point cut. He already said that was pretty much off the table. Kind of talked quite a lot on jobs data, and so in reality, I think that one might have some negative attributes to that, which once again could really spark some fear in the broader market. Because going into this upcoming week, on a side note, you do have the fear and greed index under the fear category. It's improved over this last week from the extreme fear, but still there is a little bit of hesitation. So you do have that coming out on Wednesday. Moving on to Thursday, you do have initial jobless claims. So once again, that's going to be piggybacking off of pretty much what Powell is going to really come out and, or what the minutes are going to say from the day prior. And then for the most part, Friday is going to be relatively quiet, just kind of adjusting to absolutely everything that did happen / technicals. There's also going to be one thing that is going to come out, and it's going to be a company's earnings. And I feel like that is going to really affect the broader market / SoFi, and that is Target and Macy's and a lot of retailers, because that is going to be linked to consumers. And so essentially that as well, piggybacking off of what Powell might say, the initial jobless claims, that could cause some volatility, or once again could really validate the strength of the economy and really propel things higher. So once again, just kind of anticipate a lot of volatility, but for the most part, the beginning part, you're going to see a nice bump up first thing come Monday, and that's going to be linked to options. So with the August 16th chain, you're going to have roughly around 7, almost 8 million shares for the most part being purchased by market makers. Some might be done during the pre-market, but I think the majority of which will be done during the actual trading day itself. So first thing, you will see a nice spike up. Whether that's sustainable or not, it's going to have to see what happens over this weekend, just to see if there's any escalations, any conflicts, or anything like that. But assuming the momentum from Friday carries over, then yeah, you should see a nice propelling higher based on SoFi stock price, because it was able to close not only above that $7 mark, but essentially above this point right here of $6.97, so this R2. So just watch for that to hold going into Monday and Tuesday. Like I said, that's going to be very much linked to the technicals. Aside from that, $7.26 is going to be that next strong resistance / target. And so I am looking at the 4-hour chart just to look at the 1 day, which is a little bit stronger support and resistance points. You do see 725 and then 798 as following resistance points. So kind of stay tuned for that. As well, Monday is going to be a big day for SoFi's technicals, because two consecutive trading days does signal a trend. And so essentially, Monday would be the second day of it closing free and clear above that 50-day moving average. And generally, that has resulted in a fairly nice run. Not on like a one-day run, but over this last little bit. And this is exactly what happened this kind of scenario right here. So once again, this buildup could result in a very nice secondary run up to maybe that high 7s or potentially even 8. Once again, referring back to a lot of these kind of resistance points. So yeah, I think this week is going to be a very volatile week, and depending on what the FOMC meeting minutes and data says on Wednesday, Thursday, like it could really propel SoFi to probably around that like 750 range, or even maybe even higher than that, or it could really push it back down to this 650 mark. We'll just have to wait and see. Regardless, it is going to be a lot of volatility, and you have to guarantee that shorts are going to be sitting on the sidelines. Actually, this is lucid, my apologies, but you can anticipate that shorts are going to be sitting on the sidelines and just ready to pounce on any negativity. And a lot of what is going to come out this week is going to directly correlate interest rate cuts. And right now, for the September 18th meeting, there is a 75% likelihood of a 25 basis point cut, and then a 25, or I think I said that wrong, 75 for a 25, and then 25 for a 50 basis point cut. So once again, I think that's still good, assuming the market prices in at least a 25 basis point cut, because for the November 7th meeting, this is where you're having a 75% likelihood or a 75 basis point cut. Clearly, I can't talk right now. Then a 50 basis point cut, and then right here, a 25 basis point cut. So assuming this does come to fruition, and a lot of the data that does come out from now until basically September 18th, assuming that doesn't really mess things up, you could have that big rotation like I kind of signaled to start to happen, because people will feel a little bit more comfortable about investing in equities once again, because you've kind of noticed, not just with SoFi, but across the board, lower volume, and that's been happening more and more. So clearly goes to show once again some level of hesitation in the broader market. So this week could really push it back down to that 650 in the bear case, or push it to between that 750 and 8 in the kind of the bullish case. So a lot of volatility, anticipate all that. So let me know your thoughts on SoFi. Right now, as well, on a side note, they don't have any fireside chats, nothing really planned. I think that would be very strategic for them to do something along those lines, if they could, or have the ability to do that, or even just an interview. I think just talking on their technology and their future, that would really help investors at ease, because that's one thing that I think a lot of people didn't really like from their recent earnings. It's just their tech side was lacking. So hopefully, whether it be Anthony or Chris does a interview or like a fireside chat or something like that, and just reconfirms like the future, I think that would be very good for the stock price. Let me know your thoughts. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up. Hopefully everyone's having an amazing weekend thus far. Let me know your price prediction on SoFi. Do you think it is going to be in excess of $8? Do you think it's going to be back down to 6? What's your viewpoint on that? Don't forget to hit that thumbs up and subscribe. I always greatly appreciate that. And yeah, with all that, I appreciate all of you guys watching.